Two, one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to We Serve Canada's mental health series, Elevate Yourself. My name is Anu Srivastava, and I am the Executive Director of We Serve Canada. I'm thrilled to announce this initiative, which is supported by TD, to deliver 10 workshops featuring very, very special guests each week. I am truly thankful to get the support from the TD Bank for this project. And therefore, we can actually host these workshops, and which are to safeguard the mental health of our youth. For those of you who do not know, We Serve Canada is actually a not-for-profit organization which was established with a vision to promote health and wellness, to create improved lifestyle, education, and need-based programs for youth, women, and seniors. One of our 5 pillars are health and wellness. And as the world is facing these challenging COVID times, it has become even more important to incorporate the proactive and the preventive mental health measures in our daily lives. And therefore, these workshops are just doing that, trying to help us in our preventing and preventive measures for health and wellness. The first segment of the mental health series is related to diet and nutrition. And in this segment of diet and nutrition, we will have 4 topics. The 4 topics are going to be food and mood, emotional resilience and mental fitness, the importance of micronutrition for brain health, and the 4th one is going to be balanced blood sugar for optimal health. So without further ado, let us begin today's workshop with the topic food and mood. And I would like to introduce our very special guest speakers. Our first guest speaker is Kristen Owens, and she's a holistic nutritionist and a certified holistic practitioner. Our next speaker is Lamya Aldeen. She's a clinical nutritionist and also a certified holistic practitioner. And our third speaker is Priyanka Yogini, who is a holistic nutritional practitioner and a certified yoga teacher. Welcome and welcome everyone. So Kristen, I'm going to hand it over to you to give us an overview of today's topic, which is food and mood. And once we have an overview of the topic, then we will go into the questions.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anu. Thank you for having us all here. This is such an amazing, important topic. And food is one of those, really those tools. I call food a tool because it's such a powerful tool for all of us, not just adults, but especially youth, to help support their minds, help support their body, and really create an environment within their body to thrive, right? It's not just about surviving. It's about how can we as humans and help our children thrive in every day. No matter what the environment, the world is, what's happening in the world. And so I want you to just imagine right now, the food is in abundance, and we have a choice of eating this, what kind of food we eat every single day. What we put in our body directly impacts our mood, our hormones, our energy, every aspect of our physiology. So food is powerful. And just like Hippocrates said in 400 BC, he said, let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. And, it's really important to realize that and I know that my fellow colleagues here would agree with me, that what we put in our body, we become. So I think today is going to be such a great opportunity for us to really have a discussion of how we can become healthier, stronger, spirit, soul, body, mentally, emotionally, by what we choose to eat every single day. So let's get started. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know. I really like that aspect of it that you said that whatever you put in your body, that's what you become. And it is so true. So, like you said, let us begin with our first question. My first question is, how can nutrition and healthy eating really impact youth's mental health?
So yeah, let me just start with really helping our viewers and our listeners to really understand this point. So 80 years ago, or let me just say this. So 80% of the food on our shelves did not exist 80 years ago. Okay, so 80% of the food on our shelf did not exist 80 years ago. So when we actually look at the issues that our youth are experiencing today, food plays a huge role in their brain health. I mean, just talking about brain health, because we're talking about mental health. So not only is it going to improve our brain health, but it's going to actually help prevent disease, and as well as really focus on our immune system and how our immune functions. So I just want you to really take that. My point, because there's two other great speakers here, and my point is that 80% of the food on our shelves today did not exist 80 years ago. So if we look at what's happening in our youth today, in our world, in terms of the amount of hospitals that are being born, it's really, to me as a nutritionist, I think there's something that's different. 20, 30, 40 years ago, it was not the same as what we did not see children having the difficulties that they're having today. We didn't see that 20, 30 years ago. So what is different? There's many aspects to it, but one aspect is the food is different. It's absolutely different. And our eating nowadays and choosing to eat is very different. And so I'll kind of leave it at that, because I can kind of go on, and I'll just pass it off to one of my colleagues.
Yes, Lamya.
Thank you, Anu. I'll put it simply I'll let you imagine if you have a bank account and keep using that bank account, so you are going to have less money with time. The more you put, the more you get. And that's the same with your body. If you put the good nutrition, because it fuels all the activities that you have in your body, whether it's physical or internal functions, that's how it will help you be physically and mentally fit. If you have the bad options, they will disrupt your hormones, disrupt your metabolism, disrupt all the body functions, and that you will see in your behaviors, in your thinking. So the best thing is not to look at the packaged foods. Mm-hmm. You can always go to the option for whole foods that are seasonal and local.
Right.
That's what I think, and we can proceed to our third speaker.
Yes. Priyanka?
Thank you, Anu. So I would say eat the food which are not in plant, grown not in plant, on plant. So that's what my fellow speakers were trying to say. Have natural food. And in right. Sanskrit, we have one saying which is like, Jaisa anna vaisa man. So it's like your mind, your body depends on the food you eat. So that's very important. It's like, I would take analogy. All the building material, the foundation counts to form a building. Like the structure would depends on what material are you using, and your body is made up of your food. The proteins is the structure. The building block is amino acids, and then you can further subdivide into so many things. Hormones are there, different systems are there, and what is the fuel for that? It's the food. It's not the supplements. It's not the chemicals, it's not the preservatives, it's the food and your thoughts. So what food you're putting in your mind and in your body, that's very, very, very important. And you asked like how food affects your mood. Food can make you lethargic, food can make you thrive, food can give you light, and it can complete you. So I'm complete on this.
Okay, thank you so much. No, those were three really good aspects. of how you really describe that, how important food is in our day-to-day lives and how it can affect a youth's mental health. So that actually brings me to the second question, which is like, are there any specific foods that we really should eat that could help boost your mental health? So again, I will start. So
Yeah.
are there any foods that you think that help?
Yeah, so the aspect I'm going to take on this, because there's so many great answers to this question, but say that starting with whole food. So it's really important to make sure that we are eating, just like I think maybe it was Lamya or Priyanka, I can't remember which one you said, but avoiding processed food 80% of the time, right? I always teach my clients that we want to follow the 80-20 rule. What are we doing 80% of the time, and what are we doing 10% of the time? Because if we're eating 80% of the time whole foods found in nature, foods that we can recognize in our body, it's very bioavailable in our body, and less of the box foods and canned foods, then that's going to directly impact our brain, cognitive function, and more energy. So more whole food and less processed food.
And Lamya, what do you think?
I think water, fiber, water and fiber. Water and
Yes,
fiber,
you're absolutely right.
they are important. Plus colored foods with color.
Really?
These colors are actually, they are pigments. They act as antioxidants. The more your food is colorful, is the more you are getting the benefit from. So that's what I think.
Okay. Priyanka, you need anything to it?
Yeah,
I know you've got a whole bunch of stuff.
I will add on to this, which is sattvic and tamasic. So the food which is good for your soul is sattvic. Sattvic is, as Kristen was mentioning, that it shouldn't be much processed. So less preservative, less boxed, canned food. So sattvic is once you cook your food, within 3 hours you consume it. So in this life, if that's not possible, because we all are busy and some of you are studying, so then have a food prep for a week. So get down to the freshest. Like fresh is better. So like Lamya said, color and organic or the plant-based. So that's what I would say, that add that more in your plate. 80% healthy food and 20% you can have junk still. Enjoy festive time and other thing, but 80% have the live food.
Okay. No, that very great answers, all three of them. So my third question is, how can good food impact your mood? And again, let's start, Kristen.
So if we are not getting key nutrients that our body actually needs to thrive, then what happens is we see deficiencies. And deficiencies can show up as fatigue. That's a big one that I hear often. We are maybe possibly getting sick easier. Our immune system needs to be trained by experiencing, different, colds and flus and this sort of thing. However, it's more frequency, then that's going to be a problem. So we need to be careful that we are not becoming deficient. And so deficiency is going to happen by eating more of the fast food, right? I mean, we look in our environment today, so many fast food restaurants are around. Uber nowadays, like it just comes like that, convenience. And so what's happening is we're so busy and so in a fast-paced world that everything we want everything to be quick and easy. And so we really have to be careful, right, with nutrient deficiencies. And if our organs are not getting nutrients, they can't function the way that they were created to function to keep us well. All right. So it's just really important to remember that the last thing is that when we're hungry, our body is looking for nutrition. It's not looking for just food to fill it with whatever we can find. So we're not growling anymore, but our body is looking for nutrition. And so that's why breakfast, lunch, and dinner to make sure their body's getting that nutrition from the places that we've talked about already.
Right. Lamya,
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
the question is that how can good food impact your mood?
Okay, thank you. So there is a brain-gut connection, okay? So what we eat, it might either like cause inflammation, and inflammation will end up in our brains sometimes because it will disrupt a lot of functions, and we will not be able to think. We will not be focused. We will be tired, like Kristen has said. And the other thing is good food. You will not feel the same tiredness when you are actually. You will feel more energetic. So food comes with energy. Any whole food, any fruits or vegetables, they do have energy, and that energy is transferred to us. So basically, good food will fuel our cell functions and physical activities.
Okay. Good. No, that's good. Priyanka, do you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, I would add it's like a good food is like a good relationship that you don't want to get over from and over with. And the bad food is like bad relationship. You are there, but you're not happy. You will eat something just for the sake of your tongue, and it won't give you satisfaction for your whole body. And body is so intelligent that it'll give you signals. I am tired. I am lethargic. You will feel pity on you. You will feel small, depression, all those stuff. Your body will tell you as signals. Hearing that signal, having the best relationship with your body, you can gift your body with the bestest food. We have only one body, at least in this birth.
Yes.
So take care of that, like you're taking care of your car, house, any other thing. So why we are keeping body behind? So those.
Yeah.
So healthy food, good food will give your completeness, like a holistic relationship, complete healthy relationship.
Okay, since we're talking about food and mood, so what are the foods specifically that we should focus on that will actually elevate our mood or make us feel better? If we can go into a little bit more specifics as to what do you think that would be? Kristen, maybe we can start again with you.
Yeah. So Lamya has mentioned about lots of color. So lots of color, definitely, we've talked about a little bit so far, definitely color and a variety and diversity of plants for sure, because we've already discussed the energetic qualities of these foods, right? We become what we put in our body. They are the building blocks. Lamya also has mentioned water. Dehydration, we need water. We can't go without water. We can't go days without water. We can go days without food, but we need water. So water, if those parents or students listening, that if you're tired throughout the day, the first thing that I would suggest that you is ask yourself how much water you've been consuming. Okay, filter. I would avoid tap water because there are 300 plus chemicals in the tap water. We know that. The other thing is, I mentioned plant food. The other two things I'll mention is, and these may be repeated as well, but it's good to use over and over, is omegas. So making sure that we have essential fatty acids. I mean, we could probably talk an entire workshop on them, but they are important for reducing inflammation and they for every cell in the body, but it's definitely important for our brain health. So things like avocado, seeds, nuts are really, really important. And then the last thing would be, and so maybe I'll leave it there, and then maybe Lamya or Priyanka might be able to expand on that.
Lamya?
Yeah, I have a good recipe for a good food. So it is, if you put leafy greens and some colors like the orange for carrots, the beets, you can put an apple. These are fibrous, they have fiber and they have water in them as well. And also you add seeds like pumpkin seeds or maybe sesame seeds. These do have tryptophan, which is a precursor of serotonin. That serotonin is a very important hormone in keeping you always calm and content. Okay, and add to that some chickpeas. That's a protein. And then usually the leafy greens and the carrots, they do contain soluble and insoluble fiber. So this is a complete meal to a happy mood. You have put them all in one plate.
That is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that recipe. And I'm sure a lot of people will be asking for it, and we'll make a note of it and we'll put it in social media.
Sure.
So, anything else, Priyanka?
I would say both the ladies have summed up it like quite nicely. And I could remember,
yes.
yeah, I could remember we used to make the energy balls back home.
Yes.
Nuts and very less of the flour, very less flour, but it was all nuts. And then
Yes.
you put it in desi ghee and then cook it on sim for, and then mothers or those who are making, they would pour their love in it. The kind of energy they're putting while cooking it, that's the bestest recipe I see for the instant mood change. Because
Wonderful,
that's
wonderful.
feeling
I think we really need to even have another session, maybe, which will just be elevating the moods and then talking about the different recipes from the different parts of the world and all that. And I think we'll definitely think of doing that as well. So what are the foods that contribute to low mood energy? I mean, obviously, we all know it's the junk food. It's the opposite of that. But is there anything specific that, okay, no, absolutely not. You should not be having that. Maybe, I know, I'm putting Kristen on the spot all the time. Maybe I'll start with Lamya this time.
Sure. What I would say, and I will emphasize, it's ultra processed food. Like hot dogs, any packaged foods that they do not have any nutrition already. They add more than the preservatives, the flavors. These are all synthetic.
Yes.
And the body does not understand them and will not absorb them. Yeah. And then also the genetically modified foods, GMOs. These also will disrupt our genes from the inside.
Right.
These are the two. And also meats that are raised on hormones and antibiotics. I would like to give a tip. I would like, if anyone is interested, maybe they can read The Dirty Genes. It's a book that's written by Dr. Ben Lynch.
Okay.
It's very helpful.
Okay.
That's what.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
You will.
Priyanka?
Yeah. So the food which are like no for us, extra sugar. So when you stop by that what's that called? Takeaway, when we go for takeaway things.
Takeout?
Takeouts.
Yeah.
Takeouts.
Yeah.
You know, don't
Yeah.
stop by those. And then don't have extra. Have a balance in it. So those foods are like extra sugary things are not good for us. That double or whatever. So that's extra sugar is not good for us. Coke, Pepsi, all those things. Even bottled water is not good for us. So Kristen was mentioning filtered water. There is importance of filtered water. So have a nice filter at home rather than taking bottled water or tap water. That can be detrimental for your mental health, for your mood. So that's what is my contribution.
Okay. Yeah, Kristen?
So, Priyanka, you stole mine, which was the sugar, and I was going to actually go into liquid sugar. But another one, speaking of liquids, I would say be very careful when it comes to oil. So, typically, oil, like cooking oils, most of them can actually already be rancid. So, which means that they're going to create more free radicals within our body. And
Right,
so
right.
I would suggest if you're using oil, we actually, in our home, we don't even cook with oil. I have avocado oil, which is non-genetically modified, and I have coconut oil. I don't use it for cooking. So we have it for a very long time. And if you're interested, those of you listening interested in heart disease, Dr. Esselstyn, he is an amazing doctor. If you've never watched the movie Game Changers, they talk about the damaging effects of oil, which as a nutritionist, I was never taught this. And when I started learning more about oil and what it does to our arteries and the endothelial lining of our cells and arteries,
Right.
I was, wow. So I would say, just be careful how much oil. So of course, Priyanka, you mentioned fast food. That would then go along with, it can be a healthier fast food.
Absolutely.
However, you're going to be using oils over and over and over. So even if it's better oil, which likely in a fast food restaurant it won't be, but let's just say it was, the more that we keep using it and using it and reusing it, that is going to create oxidative stress within our body, and that is going to increase aging and increase the environment within our body where actually disease thrives. Not to mention is brain health, right? Talking about here today will absolutely impact our brain. So, and as children, we're listening, we're talking about children, but children become adults and adults become elderly. And if we look at nowadays, our elderly there are so much nervous system, brain issues nowadays that people are being diagnosed with. And if we can start and teach our children young, then I think that we'll have less of it down the road. So, yeah.
I want to add something here. You mentioned oil. So the oil, which are like vegetable oil, canola oil, excessively refined oil, which we study in school, that these oils are not good for our health, mental health for sure. But instead of that, coconut oil, flaxseed oil for salads, olive oil, even for cooking, desi ghee for cooking. I use all the time desi ghee. That is like its burning point is so high that it's safe for frying. Coconut oil is safe for frying too, if you need to. We have life, we can enjoy that. We should enjoy that. So use these oils.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
No, it's really good to know, Priyanka, that we can use actually desi ghee. Everyone would think that it's supposed to be really so much of fat in it, so a lot of people try and avoid using it, but it's better to use desi ghee or clarified butter is what they call, as compared to any other of the refined oils that are in the market. Okay, no, that's wonderful. So we are talking about mood and how to elevate your mood. So I believe you have to actually practice. You have to have some very good habits inculcated in you in order to have a good mood all the time. So what do you think would be 3 good habits that we can start doing right now when it comes to mood and how we can improve and elevate how we feel each day? And I think I'm going to start with Kristen.
So, this is a great question, because really where we are today is because of the habits that we've been keeping, yesterday, 6 months before, a year before. So where do you want to be next year or in 6 months? It has to start now. So my biggest suggestion is always start right now. You don't want to wait till January. How you end your year is how you start your year. So start right now, okay? Don't wait till Monday, start right now, okay? There's no time like the present. But I want you to, we're going to keep it super simple, is, for me personally, my tip is look at where you are with your diet, with what you're eating every day, and ask yourself, what does it consist of on a daily basis? And going back to the whole vegetables, one of the things in my practice that I talk a lot about is more plants, more plants, more plants. And so we encourage you to look at what is it, maybe take like a 4-day journal. What did you eat from the time you woke up to the time you went to bed? And ask yourself, how many servings of fresh fruit and vegetables did you consume? in that day, because really we should be eating between 7 and 13 servings a day. Most people don't get that, but you have to start with where you're at, and then you have to just add on. And a serving would be, say, the size of your fist, maybe a cup size. And so, yeah, so how much are you having? And then can you increase it, right? And the other thing would be consider working with somebody to help educate you and teach you, take where you're at and then start helping you to move forward to make this more easier.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lamya, do you have anything to add to it?
Yes. Chewing. This is always not recognized. So chewing is very important. That's why we have teeth. So usually the digestion starts in the mouth. And when we start digesting food in the mouth, that means it will be easy on the stomach and it will be easily absorbed. This is one thing. The second thing is do not snack between meals. That's my two advice, and for like, for youth or for anyone.
Okay. Priyanka?
Okay, I will add on, I'm taking points from Christine and from Lamya only. So be mindful. So start from wherever you are and start small. And because if your diet is like so many things and you're getting overwhelmed that I have to change so many things, don't give that burden on your head. And
Okay, I think we just lost Priyanka.
I broke connection. I don't know. Okay, so I will start with start taking points from Christine and Lamya that have 7 to 13 serving, but as Christine saying, add little, so that you're not overwhelmed, and that is a toll on your mental health. Again, we are here for the mental health. Chew your food, and while you're chewing your food, say this food is yum, and this food is my life, and this is a great contribution. Whosoever has cooked your food, even you cooked your food, say thank you. That, oh, you're wonderful, you have cooked the food, you have taken time out. And if it's your mom, if it's the restaurant guy, whosoever it is, say thank you to them. So that will change something here in your mind and will contribute on a deeper level. Because in yoga, we know there are koshas, there are layers to the body, 5 layers are there to the body. And the thoughts will go deeper down to the deepest of the layer. So that's the tip. Be mindful.
That's so wonderful, Priyanka. I really love that. Thank you is so important these days. We are just, we are so busy doing everything else that the small things that we forget to be so grateful for. So this brings me to my last question, which is, what is the biggest advice that you would give these young kids or young youth so that they can actually take care of themselves, their nutrition, their mental health? Nothing too intensive, but something small, like something that they can really start doing and they can help themselves and be on the right track. Kristen?
I would say that I really believe from experience in this industry for so long is when people understand why they're doing what they're doing, why, with my kids, I have 3 kids, almost 19, 16, and 12, and they've grown up this way. And not to say that they don't enjoy fast food, not because I told them to get it, but because they just they make choices, right? But helping them to understand why they're making these choices. And so if they understand it, and maybe parents can't necessarily teach that, but if parents are learning, and then we teach them and help them to understand, and then they notice the difference in how they're feeling, they're going to be more likely to make the decisions to choose better options, maybe more than what they were before, right? It doesn't have to be like an overhaul, but better, like, oh, instead of getting a pizza for lunch, I went and had a sub kind of thing. right? Like, or I chose to make my own lunch, right? Or I chose to have some more vegetables. So I think education is really, really important. I've seen that in my own practice, is when people understand why they're doing something, they choose to do it for longer and make it a habit and a lifestyle.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lamya, do you need to add anything to it?
I will add to Kristen what she said. I want to say that the body is always either in a state of rest and digest when someone is happy and content, or it's fight or flight when they are stressed.
Yes.
So my biggest advice is regulate your mood. We can regulate our mood if we recognize why we are stressed. If we go behind the reason why we are stressed, because we cannot eat food while we are stressed. The body will not digest it. So I do have another tip for this. There is a ruler meter to measure our emotions and identify them. It's called ruler.
Okay.
And it's developed by Mark Brackett. It's Professor Mark Brackett. So that's my biggest advice for the youth.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Priyanka?
Yeah. So I see in youth, there are many students here, international students. They don't know, how to, they know how to cook, but they are too busy making money or doing their assignments or studying. So a tip for them, add an apple a day or add something to begin with. That'll make you feel good. That'll give you something that will detox you. And from there, you will be motivated. And look in front of the mirror. So Kristen sold mine. What is your why? So look in the mirror and see why I'm doing for you. Am I doing a favor on you? Or you are the life I am here for. And we are here for the bigger games. And the answer, whatever answer will come, do it for that thing.
That is wonderful. And I really like the idea of just starting off with an apple a day. It always used to be, that was a saying that we grew up with, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And it's so true. I think, again, I'll go back to what Kristen had said right in the very beginning. Things are not the same like they were 80 years ago. So 80 years ago, people would just pick up an apple and go, and here now you don't find them in the shelves anymore. So all the processed food and all that. So that is so wonderful. That finishes off my questions, but I do have two, actually. We'll take live questions. And there is one live question coming in from our viewer, and he's asking, his name is Jatin, and he's asking, how can we get all the essential nutrients in our daily meals? Like something simple, but it covers all the nutrition that would be probably available in a meal. Any one of you can answer, and not all of you have to answer that. So whoever wants to, I think Lamya, probably you are into recipes and things like that. I was just going to ask you, what do you think could be one thing that you could have that would probably have all the essential nutrients in a meal?
Yes, when you prepare your meal that has the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So the fats should be healthy. You can, I do not cook with oil. I do not cook with oil at all. So I put my oil on the food itself. Okay. So if you have the vegetables, and as I have mentioned, they are with colors and also leafy greens. I mean, you don't have to have the salad itself. You can use the kale. You can cut the kale and make it inside. You can also steam the broccoli and make it in the salad. Right. I consider the salad is a very major meal, because you can add to it and make it like, you can customize it as you wish, whatever you want. So add the healthy oils on the top. They can be pumpkin seed oil. It can be flaxseed oil. You can add chia seeds. You can add flax seeds. You can add also the chickpeas. You can add beans, the
Right.
red beans. You add the apple. You can cut pineapples. That will be a
Oh.
nutrient-dense meal.
So for the carbohydrate, what would you use though?
The carbohydrates, usually there are insoluble and soluble fibers, not the simple carbohydrates. When I say insoluble and soluble fibers, the insoluble fibers is the fiber that if we chew, it will not melt. It will still be there like a chewing gum. So
Okay.
this is insoluble fiber, and the soluble fiber is actually, like, when you chew it, it will go into your it will dissolve in water.
So what would be the example of that you could add with all these leafy vegetables and all?
For example, the celery, if you cut it into the salad, I know it's chewy, but you can cut it very small.
Okay.
That's considered insoluble because when you chew it, you will feel how chewy it is.
But it has, but it is carbohydrate also?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
veggies, fruits, they are all carbohydrates, beside grains and beside rice. So
Okay.
the grains, they have some proteins as well. If
Okay.
you put the grains plus nuts, you will get full amount of amino acids. You will get a protein from this.
Okay.
If you add the rice with beans, or let's say the grains with nuts, they do give you a full protein amino acids if you add them. But if you do not combine them, you need to add some protein to the salad or
To
something.
the diet, yes. Okay. All right, so the second live question is from Tracy, and she is asking that, can you mention the most nutrient food people can easily add to their diet? Which has probably got a lot of nutrition and in a very small serving, probably. I think that's probably what she's trying to ask.
Yeah, the most nutrient dense
Yes.
vegetables or fruits, they are nutrient dense.
Okay.
They have a lot of minerals and vitamins,
Okay.
but
So
they do not have the proteins.
Yes.
I would add to it, like, there is not one food. You, like, as Lamya answered before, your platter should be whole, full
Yeah.
of colors, all the varieties in one bowl. So that will make your body like it's a complete thing.
Right.
Not one thing or other. It's not that. But if, like, for example, if you're having one thing and you cannot do so many things, so have one thing in one meal and other thing in other meal. But to have it complete, try, like as Lamya was saying, make a salad, throw some beans, that'll be protein.
Right,
Will be protein. And these fresh green things are carbs. As like in India, we believe grains are carb, rice is carb, but these are carbs which
Yeah.
are like slow. It'll dissolve slowly in your blood,
Slowly to the.
so that you'll be contented for longer time.
Okay.
So that's the background.
Okay. So I have the last live question that I'm taking. It's from Pratham, and he's asking, everyone talks about dry fruits as a great source of nutrition. To what extent is that true? Dry fruits.
Is that question for me?
Any one of you can answer.
Okay. Dried food is a great option for someone who does not like to eat. But for in certain conditions, like let's say diabetes or obesity, dried fruit is loaded with sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, so they cannot eat it. They better eat a small portion of the fresh fruit because it contains water. And there are some fruits that have low glycemic load. It means you eat them, they will not rise your sugar quickly.
Right.
One of them is watermelon.
Okay.
Yeah, but dried fruit, for people who do not eat, they don't have any problem, they can have them.
No, thank you for that tip, because usually people have that thought that dry fruit is really good for you, but that's a very good point that it's loaded with sugars.
If it is
So,
if it is processed, loaded with sugar, because it's like there is no water content, it's being dried, you can soak almond. It will be still healthy for your brain. And since we're talking about brain health, I would go for, like, we talk about energy balls or laddu. So that's where the dry fruit is very important for your brain health.
yes.
And so soak it, and it'll become, all the heat thing will come out, will get released, and it'll be like as fresh as the almonds are fresh, no, having water content. So that's the reason we soak it overnight, so that it goes to the natural form, original
Okay.
form, and it's not no more processed. But
I
if you
see.
don't process it, it will go stale. So that's why we process it, so that we can enjoy it throughout.
Okay, yes. I'm trying to remember even my grandmother, she always used to make sure that we all would have 11 almond seeds every day, but it had to be soaked overnight
Yeah.
in water and then, of course, peel it. But we never knew the significance of it. And then she would actually go to one more extent, and she would actually kind of almost grate it or grind it and put it in milk. And then
Yes.
she would ask us to have it.
Absolutely.
So obviously there has to be some kind, our ancestors, our grandparents, they knew the right foods to eat. And we are doing something really very, very wrong. So if we were to just even follow what our grandparents did, I think we would be good.
That's the bottom line.
True.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The other thing.
Anyway, so this really wraps up. Sorry, Kristen, go ahead.
No. I was going to say one more thing is if somebody is eating, say, dried apricots, for example, it's important to make sure you don't get apricots that are when they're orange, they're nice, bright and orange. You want the apricots that are actually, I guess they're brown, really, because they don't
Brown.
they're not full of sulfites. And then just like Lamya was saying, is if you are going to have it, they should be brown. But then I would pair it with something that is going to help slow the release, right? So it would be almonds or, a fat and a protein that actually slows the release of the sugar. So, but definitely in terms of the sulfites, if you're eating apricots, make sure it's not the orange ones. You want them to be
Okay.
brown.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, that it seems like all of you got such wonderful tips on what foods really to eat. And I'm seriously thinking that I am going to have another session where it'll be just focused on recipes and foods. And because that'll be so much more interactive, and actually people might be able to do more takeaways. Like, okay, simple thing, eat an apple. Simple thing, don't have the orange apricot, just small things like that. So we'll definitely do that. But for now, this really wraps up our first workshop. And we'd really like to thank all of you viewers who have actually joined us. And we hope that you have been able to learn something through this workshop. And thank you so much to our eminent speakers, Kristen, Lamya, and Priyanka. We truly appreciate your expertise at We Serve Canada's Mental Health and Youth, which was supported by TD. And we really look forward to actually having you again at next workshop, which is on December 29th. And it's again at 5 p.m. And we really want our audience to really get the full benefit of everything that we are going through, and especially the young adults, the youths, the students, and the children. And so we are so happy that you all joined us today. And you may have seen actually in our social media promotions that there is a contest that is going throughout the series, which is free to enter. And all you have to do is to follow us on social media handles, which is at We Serve Canada, and attend our workshops. And each time you attend the workshop, your name is actually put into a draw, and $100 gift certificate a gift card will be actually given to the winner. And so the winner of the diet and nutrition contest will be announced in our fourth workshop, which is January the 12th. And having said that, our next workshop is again on Wednesday, December the 29th at 5 p.m. And I would like to really thank each and every one of you, our speakers, for making this workshop possible. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care of yourself, and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same for you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.